Hello, welcome to the Depths of Jigoku. This is a podcast about gaming, music, and whatever the we want to talk about this week. I am joined by Dread Pirate the Beautiful. I am Kain the Lazy, and you might hear a third voice that comes from our resident but confused AI Poe. All right, boys, how's your weather going?
It's
fucking weather here has been nuts. It's cool because it's like we're hitting 50s, mid 50s, but then one day a week it'll be like 10 and snowing.
feel that we're starting to hit all the rainy weather, but with the rain also comes the nicer weather here in Florida, as you know.
Yeah. Fuck, have you guys seen the weather in Tahoe?
No, I don't pay attention to shit outside of my life.
I got a lot of ski bums around me, so they're always talking about snow and shit.
Right.
So Tahoe, this wonderful ski village in California, had something like 6 inches an hour a couple days ago for 2 days straight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucking wild. Like Saturday, they got 17 inches.
Yeah, that's something I never had when I lived in the more snowy states when I was younger, man. I never got that shit. Like all that snow. I got some always.
Yeah, well, but
never enough to even stay home from school.
Oh, that sucks.
Never, man. I used to hear about it all the time. It was like a child's dream that never came true for me. So.
But yeah, let me see what their totals were. I think March 2nd, the total was 106 inches.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm way too southern to dig myself out of that. I'm just locking down and waiting for that shit to melt.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't mind snow as much as the rest of the guys, but what I'm not about to do is live in that.
Fair.
Also, it's California, so although I tried it once, didn't work out, man.
Well, they're saying it was like a snow hurricane.
Yeah, that's probably came from somebody who's never been in a hurricane.
That's fair. I mean, they were getting like 190 mile an hour wind gusts.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe it was.
My buddy, after I got off Sunday morning, he drove to Tahoe for like 3 days. I think he comes back tomorrow with a snowboard. And he's just like, there's not going to be another chance to fucking snowboard this. It's like, all right, dude, enjoy. Don't die.
Like the same people who surf in hurricanes, man. I like having surfed, nothing crazy, but at least 5 foot waves before.
Fair enough.
And some of it a little bit choppier. I couldn't imagine trying to go out to that. But also, I'm not that experienced.
Yeah. I mean, all I did was longboard surfing because my fat ass couldn't get on anything smaller than like 8 feet.
I got down to like the under 7 foot boards, but at that point I couldn't turn for shit, so I was just like catch a wave and go straight, whee, and then fall off.
I feel that.
Hey, best 15 seconds of my life.
Did you ever get sucked up in any tubes?
I only caught one tube ever, but didn't really get sucked in. It was relatively small.
Dude, I was surfing Waimea Bay. It's where they do the eddy every couple years. Like 40-foot waves in the winter. I was there in the summer. I'm not a 40-foot wave surfer by any stretch of the fucking imagination. But being in there, like, I think probably half overhead. So like 10 feet, 8 feet. I got sucked into a tube and shot out the top of it. It was fucking wild.
See that shit? I've seen videos of like getting caught in a tube on bigger waves like that, and it just looks terrifying to me. I was like, oh, you're dropping at 20 feet.
Yeah, I didn't go that high. I got shot out maybe like 4 or 5 feet, and then the wave went past me. So I fell maybe 8 feet, but it was cool for the fall because I was like, oh shit, I'm wet. Now I'm flying.
No, the worst that ever happened to me was getting caught in the riptide for the very first time and feeling like I was going to die for all like 30 seconds to a minute.
Dude, so I had that live-in nanny.
Uh-huh.
And me and her would go out tubing and like boogie boarding and shit. So we went out boogie boarding one day, caught a riptide, and a fucking boat picked us up. We were like a mile and a half offshore into the Pacific.
Holy shit. That's got to be fucking freezing, though.
You know, we were trying to paddle so hard, we were both sweating, and we didn't realize how far we were out. Like, just full panic mode, dude.
Jesus, I can imagine. Could you even see the shore at that point?
Yeah, we didn't. So the guy that picked us up was telling us we were like mile and a half offshore, but it didn't look like we were that far out. We get in the boat and he starts going into the bay because he was just going to dump us out like 20, 30 feet from the shore. And it took us a hot minute to get back, and I was like, oh, fuck. We're like, this is dead territory.
Yeah, that's when that ever happened. I almost got sucked out to sea once in a riptide. But that one was on me. It was at this random beach. I picked up a couple like hippie surfers that were hanging out at the hostel with me. It was like 45 minutes out of like Raglan when I was living there, and I had to borrow somebody's board because mine was in the shop, and it was a bigger board than mine and heavier and or more voluminous.
Yeah.
So they were decent waves, but they were still pretty choppy. And like I ended up getting stuck behind one, and I almost got pulled out. And I swear to God, I was just paddling as hard as I could for 30 minutes straight. And I stopped. I looked around. I looked at the shore. I just didn't fucking move.
Yeah. And you know, being from the beachy South, we should fucking know better. But you know, you just get caught up in the moment, man.
It's true. But also, in the beachy South, unless there's a hurricane coming, we don't have weather like that. We don't even have waves like that.
That's true.
Like when I got back to Florida, I was like, I would continue surfing after I came back, and I would wake up early, just after dawn patrol. I'd look at the waves, like, yeah, I'm gonna go this morning. And I'd look, it would say like 3 feet for 5 seconds. It's like I'm gonna go back to bed.
Dude, your guys' stuff had timers on it?
Yeah. I used to be able to wake up when I was out, like there was, I can't remember the name of the app, but I used to wake up and just look at the app, and it would tell me when high and low tide was, like what direction the current's going and wind, and how big on average the waves were at any given time throughout how they were supposed to be throughout the day. And how many seconds the wave was going to hold its form.
That's dope. I would always just like Google a beach and then surf reports. It'd be like, oh, it's 5, 6 feet. I'd get out there and it'd be like these little half-second 5, 6 feet crumblers.
You see, the thing is, I don't want to have to drive for like 30, 45 minutes all the way from the west side of town to the fucking beach, and just be like, especially, you know me, I don't get up early for anything. Unless it's worthwhile.
That's fair. I've known you for a very long time, and you don't wake up early.
I'm not the worst, but I could be better.
So the big question:
Have
you been waking up early to spread some managed democracy?
No.
You're gonna let the super Earth fall, man.
I stay up late enough spreading managed democracy. I don't need to be waking up early to do it too.
That's fair.
That's what I feel like the problems start happening. How much have you slept last night? 3 hours. I had to kill the bugs.
Dude, I've been sleeping like hot garbage. So, talking about managed democracy, if you guys don't know, we're talking about Helldivers 2, basically Starship Troopers on steroids and in video game form. Oh yeah, there's Terminators.
With Terminators. You gotta add that one in.
Can't forget the Terminators.
Because while Starship Troopers is amazing, you have to add the 1-2 punch. As a reminder that we can't let AI get too far.
I was looking at some of the enemies from Helldivers 1, and we got some good fucking future enemies.
I just recently saw a video of a playthrough, like a short playthrough of Helldivers 1. I didn't realize it was like a top-down.
Yeah, completely different game. Very loosely based on the first one.
I did not put that together because I didn't really know anything about the first one before. I'd heard of it, but never checked it out.
Dude, I'm excited for fucking Starship Troopers Protoss. So the first game had this faction called the Illuminate. They're just Protoss. Like, they're blue. They look like Protoss. They carry melee weapons. They have shields. It's just Protoss.
I'm for that. And we're getting mechs soon. Yeah. Based on everything I've seen, and sooner than we might have thought to begin with, honestly.
Yeah, I wish they'd do like a like open beta server setting where you just hop in and you expect it to be complete hot garbage and you just get to play with the new shit to game test for them, because I would spend mad amounts of time in there.
So here's the thing about that. Have you not seen?
No. Enlighten me, sir.
From what I read, random people are getting availability of it.
That's fucking
like
dope.
A mech suit, just like popping in. There's one there. I didn't look too deep into it, but I saw a couple things about it on like Reddit and social media.
That's fucking cool. So
we'll have to look into it deeper to know if that's just like developer footage or what.
I mean, they did just hire a literal fuck ton of people. Because they were not expecting this game to be this fucking popular.
No, absolutely not.
So
it's a small studio.
Yeah, I think they doubled their staff, is what I was reading.
And after launching all the server issues, they had to do a lot.
We're tearing up Joel's plans so much too that he now has a team. You know the players are assholes when the DM has to get a team.
Well, that's what happens when the players actually band together and not fight each other among different consoles and equipment.
Yeah.
Dude, the things we can accomplish when we're all one is astronomical. You get the Halo gamers with the fucking Call of Duty gamers, everything in between.
It was cool when the Reddit threw up that we lost a planet to the automatons in a sector, and everyone just switched from having killing bugs to just fucking up the automatons, and now we're 2 sectors deep.
Are you talking Malevolent Creek?
That one is Space Vietnam, right?
Yeah, it's Space Vietnam.
Yeah, well, we lost that planet, which lost us that sector, I think.
Yeah, you can't even go into it right now. I tried it last night.
So, we have Starship Troopers Protoss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, if the automatons weren't the worst, you have the Cyberborgs, or Cyborgs. I don't know why.
Are these all from the first game?
These are the other enemies from the first game. So instead of being full-on automatons, these are humans that did not like managed democracy. And they basically made themselves cyborgs and are now trying to spread cyborg versions of communism throughout the galaxy.
Sounds like they need democracy.
I agree. And then I just want to point out for the bugs, these fuckers bleed oil according to the storyline.
Really?
Like, how more of an American enemy do you need? We get to go to space and kill shit, and they die and give us oil? Like, you're just out there harvesting. At that point, it's not even a war.
That's, I mean, somebody got to create the Helldivers, man.
You're not wrong. But yeah, I wish I had more time to play this stupid game. Like, it's really fun, but I've been really fucking busy.
Oh man, that's okay. You have your time. Your time will come to spread democracy among the land, and we may be back on the automaton side, taking back Malevolent Creek when you come back. You never know.
The goal is, the beautiful wife is going out of town for the weekend. The kid is pretty good about figuring out his own video games. So, and I took Friday off. So I'm planning on getting a solid 6 hours in on Friday.
Not a bad plan.
And then we'll see how Saturday and Sunday goes. What level are you now? I know I'm like a measly 5 or 6, but
I am level 18 right now, I believe.
We talk about how our boy Vorian's just cranking levels out.
Oh man, every time he jumps back on every couple days, he's 10 levels higher.
It's fucking wild, dude. The game's been out like 2 weeks. Homie's got a full-time job, essentially a wife, and like 9 fur babies. And he's still got time to fucking get on for 7 hours a day.
I mean, it's a job to be on the computer. So it's not far off what he's already doing.
That's why I kind of figured that he wouldn't be playing video games.
It's literally a one click away.
You're not wrong. I think honestly, he probably plays between meetings.
I apologize. A double click away.
If Vorian's boss is on, I promise he doesn't play between meetings. So what it do, man? How you been?
Looking all right, man. Just working a lot. Actually, got a call back from my last boss to work for St. Patty's Day, so that'll be a good weekend.
Fuck yeah! You usually make bank on St. Patty's.
This is true.
Fucking, I'm going out for a friend of ours' birthday party. I guess it's a surprise party and a super soft party, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, it'll be a fun time. I still have yet to go to a super soft party.
I haven't been to one either, so I don't know what to expect. But yeah, dude, been working my ass off too. Not making any extra money for it, because, you know, adult jobs. But
fair enough.
But yeah, it's fucking wild. I got another 22-hour day coming up. And then Jesus. I think that's probably my last long day on this project.
I mean, that'll probably be me both days for the St. Patty's Day weekend. They're doing 2 days this year, so we'll probably be there like 14 hours each day.
What day does St. Patty's Day? It is St. Patty's Day. What, like, day of the week?
Sunday, I believe.
Holy shit. You start drinking Saturday, and you could already be drunk when St. Patrick's Day starts.
Yeah. Yep. So it's the 16th to the 17th, Saturday and Sunday.
Nice.
St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2024.
It is, yeah, I don't really drink like that anymore, so
I don't either.
Have fun. I'll still have fun working it, though, having a good time.
Luckily, I live in one of those states where wandering around a park on an edible is considered normal.
Well, I've done that here in Florida. There's only so many places you go that don't have alligators.
Bro, behind my work, we have a golf course. Behind the main office. I don't actually work there because fucking hour drive. But we have a golf course, and the little ditch that separates the golf course, which I've never seen water in, ever in my entire fucking time working here, has a giant sign that sticks out of the middle that says, "Do not swim, caution alligators. And I'm like, bitch, please. You ain't know nothing about Florida cats.
There's no fucking alligators in Colorado. Yeah. That is too fucking cold for them.
Where the fuck would they come from? It's a landlocked state, my man.
Same way that Miami keeps getting all these wild and crazy fucking big ass creatures. Because rich people just want them.
People are too high there to be balling out with crazy animals.
I don't know, man. I can't say I haven't been stoned and wanted to fuck around with a crazy animal.
No, I agree with you. But then the second time you get stoned with it, you're like, this motherfucker gonna eat me.
Yeah.
You don't need that in your life.
I don't understand why they like the big ones. It's a power thing, I guess.
Did you ever hear the story about how the King Mike Tyson got his tigers?
I did. I'd have it. So,
I was watching the Joe Rogan Experience, as one does. Mike Tyson was on. I was like, oh, this is always going to be good. So Judge Straits, he's like, why the fuck did you get tigers? Mike Tyson's like, so the guy that bought my Bentleys for me, because, you know, it's hard to buy a car when you're Mike Tyson. He said he was picking up a tiger for his friend. And I was like, you can get tigers? He's like, I can get anything you want. 2 weeks later, I had 2 tiger cubs.
All right, then.
Right? Everyone needs that one friend.
I mean, there's a whole country song about it. I don't condone country for anybody, but, you know.
There's a country song about Mike Tyson's tigers?
No, about friends in low places.
I was like, what is this song? I need to hear this.
I feel like that would make for a good country song.
I agree, but like, there's no country artists talking about Mike Tyson's tigers. They fucking know better. Mike Tyson even hints that you were making fun of him. He might come to your house with a flock of fucking pigeons and murder your ass.
Homie, the fact that there's a whole cartoon about Mike Tyson says that anything can happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, where he walked around with the fucking pigeon.
The true star of that show. Yeah, it's fucking wild, dude. And I lived in Texas for a while. I had a buddy with tigers, but they were like circus tigers. He didn't raise them from cubs.
So they didn't know that life with one person.
They were cool as fuck. Dude didn't tell me he had tigers, invited me over to his house for a barbecue. So I take a turn off the main road onto this dirt road, and it's just got a mailbox and a big ass fence. I was like, all right, you know, it's Texas. This is pretty normal. So I start driving up this hill. I crest the hill, and there is a field. I'm not exaggerating when I say field of Camaros and Firebirds. This dude had every version of a V8 Camaro or Firebird that has existed since they existed. We're talking from 60s all the way to the 02 Firehawks. Like, this guy had one of everything. So I'm driving through this field of relatively well-preserved, but still out in the Texas sun, Camaros and Firebirds.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through like 2 or 3 more fences. And I'm seeing like deer. There's a donkey. Shit's getting kind of weird. There's a couple horses running around. And I pull up in this dude's driveway. And I go to get out of the car. And I look out the window. And I'm super happy I looked out the window first. And there's just a fucking tiger licking the driver window. And I'm like, oh shit. Immediately freaked the fuck out. Call this man. I'm like, what in the there's a tiger, dude. Did like one of your neighbors have an escape? And he's like, no, that's fine. That's my boy. Don't worry about it. And I was like, I'm not getting out of the car until you put this thing in a cage. Like, house cats have fucked me up, man. I ain't trying to fuck with no 700-pound killing machine.
That's fair. I mean, there's a proper reaction for coming face first to a tiger.
So he opens his front door, and a second tiger comes out, and he calls him. I can't remember their names. This is long ago, and he puts him in this fucking 2-acre kennel that he had built. That's got 3 layers of fencing on the side and on the top because apparently tigers can jump really fucking high.
Have you seen videos of them jumping? They jump high as fuck.
Yeah, but what?
High legs, my dude.
When you're watching your buddy walk his 2 tigers to the kennel, you don't think about shit like that. So not only is it 3 layers of fencing, the doors for each layer are on opposite sides. So you have to walk through this like 3-foot wide path to the other side of this 2-acre kennel, and then go in another door, and then walk all the way back around, go in another door, and then walk all the way back around, and then you're finally in the kennel. So he puts these things away, comes back out, and at this point, I'm out of the car. He seems pretty chill, so I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll get out. And this donkey comes up to me and starts bumping me and shit. And I'm like, what is happening? My friend comes walking back up, and he's like, oh, man, did you bring the case of Pepsis? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I brought the case of Pepsis. He's like, bottles, not cans, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, sweet. So he pulls one out of my trunk, and he hands it to this donkey. And this donkey bites it with his teeth, whips the lid off with his tongue, and chugs this 1-liter bottle of Pepsi. And then you could see the sugar rush hit its eyes. And then he just takes off through the fields. Texas is a weird place.
How is the heat in Texas compared to Florida?
I was in central Texas, the Austin area, so it wasn't too bad. We got our humid days, but you know, it's not nearly as bad as Florida is. I think
so more the dry heat.
What I wouldn't call it dry, not like Arizona or anything. More like not humid enough to where you notice, but not dry enough where you're getting nosebleeds.
Right.
And then I think the worst day it was like 101, but it was really dry out that day. So all the complaints fell on deaf ears because I was like, bitch, you don't even know. At least you could sweat.
Well, that's how it felt when I was in New Zealand. Everybody would complain about the heat so much. I'd be like, this ain't shit, guys.
Yeah.
Their hottest days would feel like a random 85-degree day in the middle of winter here. Like, that has happened multiple times this year.
You gotta understand, though, man, they are Australia adjacent. They gotta find something to complain about because they ain't got no animals trying to murder them every chance they get.
Florida's not much different. Australia's shit is just bigger. They got the same amount of things, though. Their shit's just bigger and more aggressive.
They got them cute possums, though.
They do have the cute possums. I was so taken aback the first time I saw them. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's a possum. That is. I am from Florida. That is not a possum.
What are those? I can't see its skull. It's not hissing at me and trying to actively eat me.
And we were just like, no, bro. You're like, you got opossums. I was like, there's a difference. They're just like, yeah, here. They pulled it up on his phone. He's like, that's a possum. Oh, that's actually cute.
Yeah, I always thought it was a translation error until I got to Australia. Yeah,
me too.
Because they spell aluminum wrong and like maybe and shit.
In color. But yeah, man, and apparently their fur is very sought after, and which is why they're illegal to hunt.
Yeah, one of the Australian dudes I worked with in the Middle East, he had a possum lined jacket, and that bitch was clutch when it started snowing.
I heard it was softer than fleece. Never got around to even seeing one or like feeling one. Cashmere, though, I get why it's that expensive.
Yeah,
I would love for that to be hugging my body all the time, but I ain't got cashmere money.
I was gonna say if you got cashmere money, you also got rolled up $100 bill money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I walked in the shop and they had like a cashmere. She's like, "Want to touch it?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Holy shit!" Looked at the price, it was $1,300 fucking dollars for a shirt.
Yeah, for like a t-shirt.
Exactly what it was.
Like, how much extra are the sleeves?
Right. I could never buy this. I would look at it, it's like, how the fuck do I clean you? And I would look it up, and I would never trust anything on the internet.
Well, yeah, because you look up how to clean cashmere, and there's 5 different assholes with 5 different techniques, and they only own one cashmere thing, so they're not noticing it getting less soft.
Yeah, or like try to look up how to properly clean like a felt hat and shit. I found so many different ways I don't even know which one works. Because that's also still an expensive hat.
If it's anything like a beret, you got a Blue Dawn and some water, right? Preferably distilled water so you don't get some weird white lines depending on where you live.
Florida.
And you just fucking scrub that bitch by hand. And then we would shave them afterwards because sometimes you'll get little knobbies on them. And then you just shave them down. And you don't want to do it so often that you end up shaving all the way through the velvet or the felt. But yeah, that's how we'd always clean our shit.
Okay. Soft bristle brush?
I would just use my fingers, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's pretty flexible when it's wet and it's pretty strong when it's wet, so you can rub the fuck out of that thing.
Dope.
But if you're using a hat, like a top hat or something, I would almost get a spray bottle.
Well, yeah, my top hats and my Stetson.
Oh, bro, I found a crushable Stetson. Finally. It's like forest green, so it doesn't match anything I fucking own. But it's crushable. I fucking love it. Because I ruined my Indiana Jones Stetson.
No, what happened?
It's been ruined for a while. I wore it on a really hot fucking day and it got sweaty and the leather band got tinier and you could like see the sweat marks in it and shit. And then the black one I'm way too cautious with because I way overcorrected from the brown one. And now I got this crushable one and I just beat the shit out of this thing, dude.
Oh.
This is REI coming in for the win. It was on sale too. It was like $30.
That's a good win.
Yeah.
I always hear good things about REI. I've never stepped foot in a single one.
It's like the Target of outdoor stores. They're real proud of their shit. And you have to be a club member to shop there or some shit. What do they call it? Like co-op or something. So you're an owner of the store.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool because like when we first moved out here, we spent a decent amount of money on like new hiking boots and cold weather gear there. And then at the beginning of the next year, I got like a fucking $300 check in the mail from REI being like, this is your payout. It's like, oh, shit. All right.
Oh, bet. Yeah. I've always heard their stuff's good, but I never used it.
If you ever wander into one, hit up the used rack, man, because people will buy like $300 hiking boots, wear them once, and be like, these don't fit my feet that well, and they'll return them. REI cleans them real well, and then just throws them on the used rack for like 80% off.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you can get all kinds of cool shit on the used rack.
So in fairness, though, I do also take really good care of my camping equipment.
Yeah, I just needed new shit. All my shit was hot weather stuff. And like coming out here, you have a summer tent, fucking foot of snow, freezing your dick off all night.
That's valid.
Not a fun game.
See, I always wondered because I've been to some cold festivals, but the lowest it's gotten was 34 at a festival I went to. I mean, it was very uncomfortable. But in fairness, I absolutely did not have the festival clothes or the clothes to bring to a festival at the time to survive in that weather. It was miserable.
It was like high 30s. That first hula we went to together.
That's true.
Remember, but it was like, it was wet. It was like misty cold. So it's way worse than a dry cold.
I remember like fuck man, I remember having to cuddle up in the back of the field just to watch the headliner.
Yeah. Dude, out here, it could
good.
be like 15 degrees in the morning when I go to work. And I'm pretty comfortable in a pair of jeans and a decent coat. 15 degrees when it's wet. No, you're not gonna make it to work. You're gonna fucking freeze to death en route.
That's what I learned when I was overseas and when I was in New Zealand. The first time I saw the snow, I was like, I just looked at my buddy who I was living with at the time. I was like, yo, how the fuck do I dress for this? And like, what am I supposed to buy? He's like, all right, I got you. He took me to a local like thrift market and just get this, and just like pointed out all the things I needed for the weather. But I gotta say, it wasn't that bad because it wasn't super humid out there.
Yeah, the humidity matters as much for the cold as it does for the hot, is what I'm finding out.
Mm-hmm. So it just feels like the air freezing around you.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to boil you.
Everyone always says layers. I'm usually good with just the coat, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't do the layering thing. They're like, you gotta control your temperature. I'm like, I'm always sweaty. I'm used to this by now. So, and maybe like the thick veil of fur I have covering my entire body is, you know, maybe that counts as a layer. I have no fucking idea.
And you're in general a larger man anyways.
Yeah, I am kind of a
Like
beast.
my little ass up there, I ain't comfortable. I gotta put on layers. I gotta put on a layer on top of a layer. I fucking look like a fucking turtle out there, man. But also, my whole family comes from this from the tropical region.
That is fair.
I tell people all the time, I was born in Miami. My family from Cuba. Lived most of my life in Florida. I am not meant for cold, but I'll fuck with it for a little bit.
That's why I like it out here. It's never like you can go to 3 feet of snow. It's not hard to find 3 feet of snow, but in the towns out here or the cities out here, it doesn't snow enough to be a hindrance. Like I think we've had one snow day this year.
And how bad was it? Was it even that bad?
It was more that it had rained the night before, so that the roads were real icy and they didn't want the bus drivers to drive.
Oh, gotcha.
So the snow was maybe like an inch and a half throughout the whole day. But yeah, when I went to work, because I was like, I ain't gonna fucking not go to work for some bullshit snow day. And then so I go to work and definitely slid around a little bit, but you know, keeps you awake better than coffee does.
I mean, I feel that, man. And I'd imagine there probably wasn't a lot of people on the road at that point.
No, there's usually not when I go to work because I leave my place at like 5 a.m.
Gotcha.
So I might see 3-4 cars the entire way there. But yeah, I don't remember seeing anybody.
Well, also, a lot of people just aren't confident in their driving enough, or just not good enough drivers. I don't know how it is up there, if it's anything better or worse than Florida.
I think they're overcautious here, but it might just be my Florida driving. Because like it'll start snowing just a little bit, and everyone drops from like 65 to 35 on the highway, and I'm just like fucking screaming, "Get the fuck out of my way!"
I think I would be more. I think I would be more about that than the crazy drivers here.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be many crazy drivers left after the first snowfall. Because every time, if it's snowing and I'm headed up to the main office, I always see cars rolled off to the side of the road and shit.
Damn. But like, man, when it rains here, people lose their mind.
Yeah, I noticed that last time I was in town, man.
Yeah, you just noticed that?
Well, I feel like coming up as a kid, or a teenager, I guess, when it rained, everyone just kind of drove regular. But it could also just have been I was one of them asshole teenagers that, you know, did fucking 20 miles an hour over the speed limit everywhere I went.
And a beat up old F-150.
Sometimes. I miss that truck.
That was a good truck. We had a lot of fun adventures with that one.
Dude, my dad sold that truck 3 times.
I still wonder if it ever actually died or not.
No, it's still driving around. I met the dude that owned it last time I was in town.
For real?
Yeah, I was just driving around Middleburg.
Not surprised it's out in Middleburg these days.
If that truck had 4-wheel drive, it'd be perfect.
Now, I remember driving one of your trucks that was the diesel model, the 7.4, but it was non-turbo. Like, I've driven a lot of turbo diesels in my life, and I had never felt like I had power behind the wheel as I did with that truck.
We're driving a 6,000-pound brick around with 1,200 foot-pounds of torque.
It didn't go anyway fast, but like going slowly, I was like, I feel like I could pull a whole goddamn building down right now.
Yeah, because like in a regular car, you'll hit the gas and you can feel the power curve. In a diesel, you hit the gas and you're just like, oh, this just doesn't change or stop. Mm-hmm. So, as this is supposed to be a gaming podcast, we've digressed. Fucking any new games coming up that you're excited about? I got one in mind already.
I have not kept up with what's coming out soon. Honestly, when Helldivers came out and all that, it was more of a, there's this new game out, so I picked it up since everybody else was playing it.
Well, Helldivers came out of fucking nowhere. It's not like they had a marketing campaign. It's, what, $30 game? $40 game?
I think I spent $40 on it, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Dude, even the developers weren't expecting that shit. But, so I'm really excited about this one. You remember back in the day, the big city comics back in the day?
Yeah, of course.
You know, we're emo teenagers listening to Papa Roach, playing Vampire the Masquerade. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was a fucking game, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Decent game. Wasn't Baldur's Gate 2, but it was pretty good.
That's still in beta, isn't it?
Bloodlines 2 comes out this year, and I am oddly excited about it.
I never played the first one.
I wouldn't recommend it nowadays. You'd be disappointed. High expectations and all.
Right.
But the story was good for what it was. And you could play all the different kinds of vampires. I think there was only one missing. But you got all the cool powers and shit. And it was a World of Darkness game. So, you know, the story was dark, brooding, fucking ready to go. Pretty decent story, but the graphics wouldn't hold up nowadays. So, I don't know who the Chinese room is for the developer. But everything I've seen about this is pretty good. Other than there's only 3 types of vampires you can play. And Nosferatu is not one of them, from what I can tell.
Which ones have you seen?
I can look it up real quick. Actually, we have AI bot. Figure out how many or which factions of vampires you can play in the new Bloodlines. But yeah, so they said they're going to start with like 3 factions, maybe let a 4th or 5th go in. I think they're trying to go cyberpunky with it and just make the game better over the course of like a decade, which seems to be where games are going nowadays. It's almost worth not buying a brand new game until a bunch of other people have either told you it sucked or is good, and then waiting 6 months once they fix all the bullshit and, you know, add on all the stuff they didn't have time to add in.
But we're definitely in the generation of never own it. Like, very few games coming out being full games anymore.
Yeah, and it's weird. These like B-list developers are coming out with these fucking bangers of games, such as Helldivers.
But here's my argument about that one. Like, I don't think you can blame most of the developers at this point in the history of gaming, we're into a whole different generation of gamers than used to be back when we were young and we were playing games, but we were also kind of the outcast for doing so.
Yeah, and it could be
Uh,
it could be one of those things. Video games haven't been around long enough for us to figure out if like development's gonna wax and wane. But like we came in when it felt like every new game was coming out from a new developer and it was a banger, and then that's how that developer made its name. Like fucking Warcraft, then to StarCraft, then to World of Warcraft. Diablo was like its little stepchild on the side, but was still an awesome game. And then you got like Call of Duty franchises. Those were no-name publishers when they came out originally. The Medal of Honor ones. Fucking Halo. Halo was supposed to be a top-down RTS originally.
So happy it wasn't.
I don't know. Halo Tactics has been pretty good.
To answer your question, according to 2game.com, you can play as the Pioneers, the Camarilla, the Bear and a Vampire, and the Unforeseen. Though it looks like the Unforeseen may be a more antagonist NPC role.
Okay.
Still missed the perfect opportunity to have some ugly-ass vampire wandering around.
No, Nosferatu would be one of the more popular races anyways. It always was.
They say the speaker of Nosferatu is part of the Unseen, so it could be a future development.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I want ugly vampire, man. It goes against everything that the mid-2000s, 2010 vampire culture was.
You mean Twilight?
No, not just Twilight. It was pretty much most of those movies. When you saw vampires or werewolves, they were good looking.
I mean, even
attractive human looking.
You could even throw Blade in there. Find me an ugly motherfucker other than Whistler and Blade. I mean, they had Ryan Reynolds in the third one.
I mean, and even throwing Underworld in there, they were all pretty vampires, and even those werewolves were just like good looking, just punky looking.
They made too many of those damn movies, but they were all decent. Might also be the skin tight leather.
I will argue both points equally.
Okay, so we got Vampire, which looks like it's going to be dope, real dark, RPG storyline driven. I fucking hope they don't make a multiplayer version of it.
Okay, so I did remember one game that I'm looking forward to if it actually comes out. I've only seen posts about it. So it's the new Fable game.
Yeah, that fucker's been in development longer than Skull and Bones has, man.
I know, but I'll still play it. I played Skull and Bones. I'm still playing it.
And Fable was one of those titles that was like the perfect time for those games. Everyone was coming off of Ocarina of Time. Xbox had just dropped. The console wars was in full fucking swing. And then Fable hit to, if I remember right, not very much accord. Next to no marketing. And just tanked the RPG world. And then every RPG after that was trying to be Fable. Then Fable 2 hit, and everyone was like, alright, sequels usually suck. And that one was fucking better. And they just kept stacking them like that. Like, I remember doing I think I probably put 300 hours into Fable 3, dude.
That was such a fun game.
Yeah.
I still love, like, the first playthrough. I didn't even do the first playthrough when I saw the ending. It was one of my ex-girlfriends. And you don't realize until the end that your decisions truly have that big of an effect on the things. And her whole fucking kingdom got destroyed.
That was the other thing about those games, is your decisions did affect how the ending happened. I think that was one of the early ones that was a thing.
That was one of the... It was probably... I think it was one of the earlier, three-dimensional ones.
Yeah, like... Could you imagine if Ocarina of Time, if it mattered what you did?
I mean, It kind of did in Ocarina of Time. If you did things in the past, it did have an effect on the future. Just,
Yeah, but that was a
per
mechanic.
the mechanic of the game.
It didn't have an effect on the story. It was
No.
a part of the story. Like, you were expected to do shit like that.
Right.
Dude, I got my fucking Raspberry Pi 5 all set up for retro gaming. I think I'm going to do another playthrough of Ocarina of Time on 4K.
That is a good plan.
Dude, the Pi 5, like, alright, Pi 3 retro gaming, we can all admit it was hot garbage if you did it. Pi 4 retro gaming, you can make it good, but the Nintendo titles always fought you. Pi 5 retro gaming, dude, I played through GTA 3 the other day. Fucking glorious.
I remember playing GTA 3 when it was new.
Yeah.
You said,
You had to trick your parents into buying it for you and shit.
yeah. Fuck yeah. But going back to Ocarina of Time, have you seen that somebody made a short video and rendered going into the Deku Tree in Unreal Engine?
Yeah, I want that in my life so bad, but Nintendo's gonna sue the fuck out of that guy.
I would pay any amount of money for that one.
Yeah, that's
just
a true
reskin of the
quadruple
original
game.
Yeah, that is a reskin of the original, and I still remember all the parts of the original I loved. I still go fishing for like 3 hours.
Dude, talking about reskinnings and remakes, Final Fantasy VII, I was watching, I don't got a PS5. I'm excited for the PC release. But like, you thought remake was good looking, Rebirth is phenomenal.
I'd imagine, man, it's on the next generation consoles. I don't think they're even bringing them out for PlayStation 4 anymore.
No, they're not. I don't think it has the RAM to do it.
I don't think it does either. When I was playing through the remake, I remember actively thinking while I'm playing this game that this game is pushing this little, as much as I loved it in its heyday, and I've owned multiples of them, this out-of-date machine to its peak and its limits.
That's why I waited for the PC release. That, and I haven't owned a PlayStation since number 2.
Well, thankfully it wasn't mine.
That's fair.
But I'm also excited for the Horizon Forbidden West port to PC coming out soon.
I couldn't get into that game, man.
Oh, I loved the first one. I had such a good time doing it. Once I learned the mechanics and the controls really well, I had a blast running through that game.
I think my expectations fucked it.
That's fair.
So I went in thinking Turok and was disappointed.
I can understand that one, man. We've all wanted a remake of Turok. We have never gotten one that was passable.
Ark, when it was in early release, was pretty good. Like, if you played it like Turok, you could have fun with it. But the survival portion of Ark was fucking savage. So it was hard to get. It was hard to get to the point of playing it like Turok.
I stopped playing after I died to the same snake 50 times because it was guarding the area I needed to go past every time.
The kid
asked. I think that was one of those games I rage quit.
The kid asked for it on the Xbox Series X, so I was like, "Yeah, all right, if you want to suffer." I don't think he's made it off the beach yet.
That little man has a lot more practice in survival games. That's a lot of what he's been playing.
That's basically all he plays.
Most of his short life.
Yeah, like fucking Pal World, he fucks that shit up. Still loves Minecraft. He's got a bunch of the space survival games. He's rocking all those things, man.
My sister's kid is just starting to get into Minecraft on his Switch.
Nice.
keeps talking to me about it. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but I kind of know what you're talking about.
Right? Little fucking
Goes.
Mujahideen suicide bombers, creepers.
Yeah.
So I was doing some research while you guys were talking.
Uh-huh.
There was a new Fable trailer gameplay release at the Xbox Showcase 2023. And digging more into it with a lot of different sources, reliable or not, it's rumored October 2024.
Oh, bet.
Yeah. It's rumored. There has been no confirmation, but rumors are saying October 2024 is around a release date. Nothing has been confirmed.
Okay.
That bitch ain't coming out till 2026.
No, it's gonna be Skull and Bones. It's definitely another Skull and Bones. Let's wait another 11 years. Because if get absolutely gutted after the first patch.
If that game is not absolutely fucking perfect when it releases,
They're
there's gonna be riots. Yeah, they might burn Xbox headquarters down.
Well, I was hearing that Xbox is releasing one more console and then not releasing a console anymore. So whatever is going to be after this series, what is this, X now? I don't know, there's so many different Xboxes, but not well-named products. But that'll be the last one.
To be honest, at the point that if they make another Xbox that's more powerful, it's going to be a gaming PC, my dude.
They already fucking are, man.
Yeah,
no.
It's...
Well,
it'll probably be around the same price for like a cheap gaming PC. It won't be mobile like that.
I could definitely see them going up to like $8 to maybe almost $1,000 for the newest generation. But yeah, no, they're definitely pushing the go use Windows on a gaming PC kind of thing.
Well, they already take a pretty substantial hit because Sony don't give a fuck, so Xbox has to match their price. So probably like, I don't know, $100 more for a Series X Pro or whatever stupid name they're going to come up, Series X 360.
Series X69. Nah, that sounds like a porn.
They're just going to go back and call it the Xbox 2. They're just going to start giving up.
Right.
If they
dose.
Yeah, if they really just going to start following PlayStation, it's going to be Xbox Dose, Xbox 2.
Finally confirming that Microsoft can't count.
No, guys, Netflix got it right with that show. Fuck, what was the show called? Black Mirror.
I still haven't seen a single episode of that.
They had an episode where they had a character who was literally just a far off relation to the Xbox. And he found an Xbox and was sad about it being dead.
That's awesome.
Well,
are you talking about Love, Sex, Robots or whatever?
Yeah, that's the one.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots. Great show. Definitely should try it out.
If the people haven't seen it, it's a good watch. Just be prepared. Do not go into that on a psychedelic on your first run.
Also, don't expect stories to match up.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch Love, Death, and Robots, it's just anthologies from different directors.
That's true. One of those shows that you can just put on as background noise no matter what you're doing. And chill with it.
If they've seen it. If not, it's a hippie trap.
You're not wrong on that. But I assume at this point everybody's seen it, man. Almost everybody has Netflix.
That's true. So continuing on the upcoming games. You know me in Assassin's Creed games. I don't think there's been a good one since 2. And I'm not including Black Flag because that's barely an Assassin's Creed game. But
okay, you saved yourself. I was about to be like, you're not gonna talk about Black Flag, but
just
I'll respect your what's it? An
wrong
asterisk.
Opinions.
Yeah, I'll respect your asterisk of Black Flag is almost an Assassin's Creed game, but it's more pirate than Assassin's Creed.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a wrench in that one. I'm gonna say Valhalla was also really good.
I couldn't get into Valhalla. I played it for like 15 hours. And
I can't get into the leveling system.
Yeah, I had no drive.
The whole time I think what really got me into it was putting myself in the time era. What am I doing in this game? I'm taking over England. It's fucking great.
I mean, that's fair.
And that's how I thought every time I played that game. I was like, we're taking over England? Tables have finally turned.
Don't get me wrong, the stories and like what it's about is great. I personally couldn't get into the leveling system. I just want to button mash and not worry about me being a hunter versus an assassin versus a gatherer. I just want to mash the X button to slash people.
That's fair. So, Assassin's Creed Codename Red. You're a fucking ninja. It's what everybody's ever wanted out of an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, the one in feudal Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna play the fuck out of that one.
I'm gonna give it a go.
I think it's gonna be worth it. If it's anything near as good as Ghost of Tsushima, then it's gonna be a good game.
Dude, PC port of Ghost of Tsushima, I'm excited.
That's coming out soon too. I just saw an article about that the other day. I'm excited for it. I beat the game at 99% completion.
God damn.
I played the fuck out of that one. But the problem was I think the one thing I needed was like one of the haikus. And I wasn't about to go all up and down that map, take another like 20 hours to find this haiku. I ain't that much of a completionist.
It's reported it's going to come out in 2024, Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they've announced the date.
They've announced 2024 from the research I've quickly thrown up.
That's fair. That's a safe bet.
Yeah. But also, I'm very glad they're not kind of going back to Assassin's Creed. They're not just remaking Black Flag. Like, though I would love it, I'd rather have like a good Assassin's Creed game.
But they are remaking Black Flag.
Yeah, but I'd rather it not be the new Assassin's Creed than like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my worry.
Like,
they're gonna fuck it up and make it an Assassin's Creed game. Like, just leave it the fuck alone. Yeah, leave it the fuck alone.
Update texture.
Render it in Unreal Engine and let me be a pirate.
I'm so disappointed in Skull and Bones.
I'm not. It's a fun casual game. It's what I expected, because when they were talking about, we're going to have it to where you could board ships and fight on land, I was like, that's a lot of game for an MMO.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. I think that my hype of it died down pretty quickly with this new season. Or with the first season, which is never, like, a great sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything like Diablo, people are still cranking that out. Season 1 was terrible. Season 2 was a little better. And from what I hear, Season 3 is pretty baller.
Yeah, Season 3 is good. I definitely did not spend $200 on a mount. Totally.
Holy crap!
No, I didn't, but they were selling like cosmetics, which I'm fine with cosmetics, but selling it for like $80 to $100, I'm like, I'm sorry, Blizzard. There's like a cap of how much degeneracy I'll do.
No, the sound sounded surprised. I'm not surprised. I went back to the days of WoW and people spending thousands of dollars on accounts.
Yeah, on pre-fucking level characters.
Yeah, like thousands. I think one dude sold his whole account for like 25 G's.
I had a buddy that was basically his second income. He'd just not sleep all weekend, play WoW, get a level 60 or 70 character, and then sell that shit. And we're talking couple grand every weekend.
I mean, it's a hustle, but with that kind of hustle, you might as well be living in the Wally world already.
He was a weird dude.
I know.
Walking that dude's house, he has one of those electric fucking wheelchairs. He's like, oh, somebody here need that? And it's like, nah, I just use it to get around.
Nah, he lived in the B's, man. He lived in dorms. Fucking dude would just he didn't have a roommate, and he'd just lock his door. Get home Friday night, grab enough food for the weekend, grab enough drink for the weekend, and lock his door, and then come out Monday morning all beaten and abused, but, $2,000 richer.
Going to his dorm, there's 10 cases of game fuel laying around.
Fuck yeah. Actually, I got him into balls. He was ordering that shit offline for a long time.
Still delicious.
Super happy Micro Center stocks that shit. Underappreciated energy drink.
It is. I mean, the name might be a little bit
What is it?
not as accepted as when we were younger.
I mean, CompUSA was who sold it when we were younger.
Yeah.
They'd always have stacks of it. We're talking about balls.
Is it like a Rip It?
BAWLS. No, it predates Ribbits.
Oh yeah, we're talking about when we were teenagers.
I'm pretty sure it predates Red Bull.
Was it BAWLS? You said?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's basically like a Sprite with an extra shot of caffeine in it.
Yeah, essentially.
Created in '96.
Yeah, sounds about right. And thus my caffeine addiction began. So yeah, man.
Red Bull was in '87. Just fact checking.
Fuck.
Red Bull was around in '87.
Not in America.
It was invented in '87.
I was about to say, what the fuck did people need Red Bull for? There was cocaine.
When did it come to our managed democracy is what I need to know. But yeah, while he looks that up.
The same year Balls was made, 1996.
Awesome.
Hey.
I would rather buy a Balls.
The caffeine epidemic in America started in 1996 is what I'm hearing.
It's fucking science.
It was sold in Austria in 97. Now the real question is, when was Monster made?
Oh.
I think Monster was hell energy drink before it was made here. Like, I think that's what it was in Europe, and then when it came here, I could be completely wrong. I'm talking out of my ass. But I think it was hell energy drink, and then when they brought it here, that didn't sit well with market testing, so they named it Monster.
You said hell energy drink?
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, hell energy.
02. 02 is when Monster came to the U.S. It was like... The company that originally made it was in 1935, so they could have been making it in 1935, but yeah.
I think Monster perfectly represents the early 2000s era as an energy drink.
Yeah, it's like probably the most popular energy drink. And then Red Bull started to become a thing because they added different flavors.
And people started putting it with their vodka.
I mean, it's the American way.
I feel like that's more or less when like Red Bull started really becoming popular. It's like, we can add this to vodka.
What was it?
Hold on. You did research and it can feel like Coke? Wheat.
Remember Four Locos? OG Four Locos, not that weak shit they got out now.
Part of being an adult Tory is
that had alcohol and energy all in it.
Never having tried one of those.
You've never tried a Four Loko? I used to wreck those things.
I have never in my life had a Four Loko, not the old one or the new one.
I will interject probably for one of the last times. I had a fraternity brother that shotgunned a Four Loko and then went to the hospital. So that's like my only interactions with Four Lokos.
Well, your fraternity brother was weak.
I don't know. It was like one of them big cans. I was like, you have fun with that one, man.
I don't think they came in manageable sized cans.
I thought there was only size.
Yeah, just tall boys. That's it.
Like a one size fits all kind of ordeal.
Yeah, I was more of a Bang fan, to be honest, because all the sugar.
What was there was an older energy drink that or like an alcohol energy drink I used to drink when I was like 21, and I just for the life of me can't remember the name of it. It was like the original alcoholic energy drinks.
It's because that was back in the dark ages, my man.
Yeah, but you know what? It didn't kill people like Four Loko did, so at least it was doing something right.
In the great wise words of a Swedish king, if he dies, he dies.
I mean, in fairness, Surge also killed someone.
Yeah. And you can still buy Surge.
You can buy it again.
Fair. So,
and I think I read the kid who died from Surge was already diabetic.
yeah,
Are
it
you talking about
sounds like a
You're
him
talking about
problem.
Sparks? Is the one you
Sparks.
originally drink?
That's the one.
Sparks, that's the one. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
It's an energy drink that was 12 proof.
It
Yes.
was so
Introduced in
good.
2002. It's
But
related to Budweiser, which is pretty cool.
doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it was one of the few good things Budweiser puts out and didn't buy.
Very true. So, another game coming up that I think at least you'll enjoy. Fucking second Hollow Knight.
Word?
Yeah, I've been surprised at how good some of these side scrollers have been.
Hollow Knight was such a fun game.
Deep story too.
Deep. I regretfully did not finish Hollow Knight,
I mean,
but I loved it as far as I got.
You could always go back. It's only got like 5 buttons.
This is true. And for a set, and how in depth the story was, as long as how long that game is too. They put so much into it. That is the first time I played a side scroller like that. That took me that long just to get like halfway through it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a lot of cool. You'd get like just lost in the caverns in that game. There's a lot of cool random shit that you didn't need to get.
That's fair.
So, Hollow Knight Silk Song, which is the second one y'all are talking about, is also getting the Skull and Bones treatment. It's been delayed a lot of times. So, it's like late 2024.
To be honest, the whole delay thing isn't anything new. It's been going on for years now.
Yeah, and
it's all the big games that people are looking forward to.
Yeah, it doesn't bug me as much when it's Hollow Knight because it's, B or C tier developer, like they're just trying to crank out a good game. So I'm good with that. But when Activision is delaying a relatively simple game from what I've played for 7 years, you're like, come on, guys. Like, you're a big name brand, big name publisher. You should know when things are going to be done.
Yeah, they just don't anymore.
No, I think they're just overpromising, and then they'll get it in front of a playtester a couple months before it comes out, and that playtester's like, "Yo, half this shit don't work." Like, I know they probably playtested Cyberpunk, but they didn't want to release that shit.
Well, Cyberpunk's big downfall was them trying to port it onto the older systems. Had they just stuck with the new generation and just looked and did what Final Fantasy, the new one is, just like, we're really sorry, guys, but with the game we want to put out and the quality of game we want to be available, your systems just can't run it. They do that with fucking computers. They've been doing that with computers forever. It's like, hey, you don't have the right hard drive or the right graphics card, but you're gonna have to upgrade. And a good graphics card is easily as expensive as a fucking PlayStation 5 or Xbox, whatever the new one is.
Yeah, when I went ahead and built the new tower, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, because you built it when they were well over $1,000, didn't you?
I think I was a little more than 2K, to be honest.
Which sucks because for the graphics card.
Oh, the graphics card was like $850.
Yeah.
850 Freedom units. But yeah, I got a lot of deals too. If I'd have just bought like back in the day, it probably would have been closer to 3K. But Micro Center is a glorious, glorious place. By the way, Micro Center, if you want to sponsor this podcast, please contact us at thedepthsofjigoku.com.
I'll make sure to actually put the actual email in the description.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, man, I'm excited for a side scroller, which I don't think has happened since like Metroid days.
There's actually a lot of good stuff coming up. Hopefully good.
There's a lot of hopefully goods.
I'm really gonna throw that out there these days.
Yeah, they've kind of been abusing us for a little bit.
But honestly, at this point, some of them could go back and just update some of the older games like they've been doing. Like they did the Resident Evil 2 game, which looks awesome. I played through that.
I'm waiting
the
for
third one
something
as
new.
well.
I want Baldur's Gate. There was nothing new about Baldur's Gate, but like, you know, Valerian Studios or Larian Studios, they were putting out top-down D&D Sims for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I was happy when they announced that they were the ones doing it. But, like, other than Tarkov, what new has come out recently? And Tarkov's been out for a minute, and it's just, people, like, self-abusing themselves. But other than Tarkov, what kind of new bullshit has come out? Like, new styles, I guess.
Nothing really, honestly.
I've heard the argument about like the Elden Ring, I'm just gonna go roll around, suffer kind of games being relatively new, but
they're not.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden was a thing.
Shinobi even more than that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Like the hard to be hard games have been around since video games have been a thing. Well, almost as long as video games have been a thing.
Very true. I don't know, man. I'm not seeing anything I'm super excited about that we haven't talked about. Space Marine 2 looks like it could be good. Space Marine 1 was really good. But yeah, other than that, and if you don't know what Space Marine is, I think you've played the first one. It's just Warhammer 40k, but you're just one dude instead of like top downs or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I played the first one a bit, and I also played the some of the newer Warhammer games.
The Total War ones are good if you like top down shit. The Total War Warhammer games are good. I wish they'd come out with a 40k version, but they'd have to refigure the entire strategy to build that game.
I'm pretty sure I have them on Steam. I've played a couple. Shit, I lost my train of thought.
No worries. Then what was the recent one that just came out? Or jest. Jest is a strong word. God, Space Marine hasn't come out yet. It was basically like Left 4 Dead, but in the Warhammer universe.
I did play that one. It's on Xbox Game Pass. Oh. I can't remember the name though. It was
Vermintide 2.
Vermintide 2.
No, there's also another one. It was more of a multiplayer squad-based game that they just recently came out with.
Yeah, I think that's Vermintide, man.
Yeah, it's Vermintide 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they had original Vermintide, and now they came out with Vermintide 2, which is more Warhammer-based. Like, more Warhammer-y than the other ones.
More 40k?
Yeah.
So we've always wanted to see really good games come out for 40k. I mean, there's such an in-depth story behind it. Just, Games Workshop.
I think that's the issue with it is there's a steep thing. Unless you keep it so focused like Space Marine, you gotta push the deep, dark storyline of 40k. And that's hard to do and keep people interested in the first hour of a game.
That's fair. There's just kind of one of those, there's too much lore to go around type stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I watched this dude on YouTube, it's Lupin the Third, I think. And he does like 2-hour long podcasty style things, just talking about one very specific background story in Warhammer, and he gets deep in it, dude.
And I bet it's super interesting because they have a lot of good stories in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah. Then you got Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40K show coming out.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. After what he did with Witcher, I'm excited for it. Although the pacing of the first season of Witcher was kind of shitty. But, like, I don't think that's Henry Cavill's fault. There's probably editors and directors and all kinds of shit involved.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see who he plays. Like, I think he'd fit with, like, either he's just gonna go all out and play the Emperor, which will be cool and make it easy for him in later seasons, because then they basically just gotta like superimpose his head on a rotting corpse and call it a day. But if they start like pre-Horus Heresy or even like right at Horus Heresy, having Henry Cavill wander around as the Emperor would be kind of fucking dope.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're gonna do with it. I think he's gonna be more of a story based thing that they're gonna make him or he's gonna be a space marine.
Yeah, I mean,
That's with the demographic in our world. I think that just makes a little bit more sense.
yeah. But if you do Horus Heresy, you get the good stories. Because the Emperor, he's not just like God Emperor wandering around in those. He just pops in and like drops some knowledge and then wanders away. Which will give Henry Cavill a little bit of time to, actually manage the production and all that stuff instead of worrying about being an actor.
Right. Because he's supposed to have a lot of say in this one, isn't he?
I think he has full creative control.
Oh, nice.
I think that was the deal.
Then it should definitely be good.
And they cut him $1 billion check for the first season.
Holy crap.
With a B. Yeah. Ridiculous amounts of money. This is like Lord of the Rings show money. But yeah. Good show, hopefully. Comes out on Amazon. So if you don't have Prime, be a peasant and don't watch it.
Oh, I absolutely have Prime, sir. How do you think I'd get away with ordering everything I need for cheaper than going to the store?
Yeah, as much as I don't like giving Daddy Bezos money, like toilet paper being 80% off regularly and it's the good shit, I can't pass that up because TP is way too damn expensive.
I save $15 on 5 quarts of oil.
Yeah, like
it's gonna be here Friday.
Fucking probably Castrol with an Amazon sticker slapped on it too.
Quaker State. It's not even bad. It's not even bad oil.
Nice. But yeah, man, excited for Warhammer. You said you've seen the Avatar series, correct?
I have seen the Avatar series.
I was pretty impressed with the half the season I've seen.
I liked it. I knew they couldn't do everything. They would be way too long. And I think they compressed it well enough to get the gist of the whole story that you see in the first season.
Yeah. I'm not super happy with some of the casting choices, just on a looks perspective.
Enough.
I think they went more wide-faced Asian than narrow-faced Asian for some of the firebenders, but once they start acting, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Toph though?
I am excited for Toph.
Dude, Toph's gonna be dope.
I'm also excited for the next season of One Piece.
Yeah, having never seen the anime, I thought One Piece was pretty good. A little goofy, but from what I hear, the anime is the same way.
That's exactly how the anime is. The characters are goofier, and they try to keep it that way. Because there was a lot of parts in the anime that are very serious, and like you get really deep into the characters and their backgrounds and histories and what they're going through in their life, especially considering how immense a fucking show it is.
Isn't it on like 300 or 400 episodes now?
They're in the thousands.
Damn.
I've seen up to.
Yeah, like
I've seen almost 800 episodes of that show.
I would argue
they almost had 1,100 episodes.
But they're talking about ending it, like finally ending it.
The newest arc is what's being talked about as the final arc.
So
that's what I thought. I read something about that.
I'm only on like episode 3.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we lost audio after this portion of the podcast, but it's basically just ranting and rumbling about different shows. You could find us at the Depths of Jigoku at gmail.com. We are currently working on setting up our social medias. Please enjoy the podcast, and we're going to try to do this weekly, dropping 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. If you would like to throw up some audio or some music into this, please reach out to our email that is on screen. The goal is to get new artists out and about and known. We're a tiny podcast, first episode, but as we get bigger, we'd like to get new artists to come in for intro and outro music. Please enjoy the rest of this outro music. It is by Carl Casey, and it is called Aggressor.